Hey guys, welcome to the Rachel Cruze Show. All right, doing this for almost 12 years now. There is a theme that I do hear from people, and it's kind of this idea of like, Rachel, I'm trying and I'm doing what I can, but I feel like I'm not making progress. Because money can be a really tough subject in your life. And so whether it's life circumstances that are happening, whether it's choices that you've made that are now catching up with you, it doesn't matter. Like whatever's going on around you, money can be difficult. And you may be like, I just feel broke. Like I feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not getting traction. What do I do? Well, in this video, in this episode, I want to walk through reasons that maybe that's happening. And if something kind of, maybe that is what's going on in my life, this is an opportunity to change it. So I'm hoping I can point some things out that might be going on in your life so that you can change not just your mindset, but also your money habits, so you don't feel like your entire life you're running this race and you're getting nowhere. So number one, you might have a mindset problem. What I mean by this is you have the wrong mindset. Maybe you have believed because of people around you or situation is just that like, well, I'm just never gonna get ahead. Whatever I do, it's not gonna matter. My parents were like this. I'm gonna be like this. My friends are like this. That you just really don't even have the belief and that mindset that stays with you like that for years and decades for some people, then that's gonna be the result. Then you are just gonna stay like that. But if you flip your mindset and say, okay, maybe I actually have power over my money. Maybe I actually can say no to a purchase that I would have normally bought, but I'm gonna say no to that. I'm gonna save that money instead. Maybe I actually am gonna start giving to people who are struggling and find the joy in that. Maybe I am gonna put the blinders on and not compare my life with everyone else's, because it seems like everything that everyone else is doing is taking my money because I keep spending it. Maybe I can set a financial goal and actually accomplish it. Like maybe I can do these things. And you guys, guess what? You can do these things. But a lot of reasons in our life can make us believe that we can't. And you can even look back. I even like to say in the household you grew up in, like think back to your parents. Is there anything there of how the habits your parents had with money, or maybe how they talked about money, their belief system about money? Maybe you've adopted that subconsciously if it's negative, and it's become your way of life. And you have to kind of go back and undo some of those lessons that you learned by putting in new information. So whether it's listening to the Rachel Cruze podcast, maybe it's listening to the Ramsey show, or reading books like the Total Money Makeover, or Know Yourself, Know Your Money, or dreaming about the future, or just believing that it is possible. Changing that mindset, you guys, is so key. Number two, lifestyle inflation. So this happens when maybe you get a little bump of income because of a raise or bonus, and you take your lifestyle right up with it. You're like, okay, now that we're making this much, then we can afford some more payments. We can afford to take on more debt. We can afford a bigger house. We can keep acquiring this stuff. And if let's just take the average income in America was around $65,000, and you were living up to that, right? And maybe even beyond that if you had debt. And then you maybe bump up to $70,000. You're like, well, now we have $70,000, so now we can bump up our lifestyle $5,000 more, and you just keep going. No, you can't do that. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to fix what's going on, and instead of increasing your lifestyle, take some extra money that you have and actually use it for your good, and that's paying off debt or an emergency fund. All of these things versus saying, oh, we made more money, so again, let's spend more on vacation. Let's just spend more and let our kids be in 80,000 things that cost billions of dollars. Like, no, don't do that, okay? Focus on how you can use that extra income to better your life. All right, number three, that you're not intentional with your time and money. So it doesn't matter what your income is if your spending is completely out of control. So the income is not always the problem. Sometimes it's the spending and that we are not intentional. And really the intentionality is the budget. And the budget saying, hey, here's where you can spend in each category per month to reach your goals, to live below your means. All of this, you guys, I mean, it is so key. I understand it's easier just to kind of wing it. And yeah, just buy whatever you want at the grocery store. Go online and shop and not worry. Go on vacation and just do whatever and charge it all on credit cards and it's not a big deal. You end up overspending and that you don't need to. So again, the budget is so, so key. John Maxwell says that a budget is simply telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And I love that. That a budget, it does not limit your freedom. Your budget gives you freedom. Okay, so that's the intentionality on your money side. Let's talk about intentionality around your time. So think about, what do you do on the weekends? What are you doing at night if you get home from work? Is it that you're just, I don't know, watching TV and on social media and just numbing out? We all do that every now and then. I totally get it. Maybe you can use that time, especially depending on where you are financially, to actually use it to better your life. Whether that is maybe looking through your bank statements and cutting out stuff that you don't need. Maybe it's decluttering your house and selling stuff that you're not using. Maybe it is going and getting a new job, maybe at night, a part-time job. Maybe it's using my meal planner and grocery guide to save you money on groceries. You can get that at ramseysolutions.com/meal planner, and that you're intentional with your grocery shopping. I don't care what it is, but making sure that you are intentional with your time is going to help you when it comes to your money. Number 4, you're not saving. So only 4 in 10 Americans had savings to use to pay for an unexpected emergency last year, according to Bankrate. 4 out of 10, you guys, that means 60% of people had something come up that they didn't have the money for. This is why it is so key to have an emergency fund, this safety net between you and life. Because if you are in that cycle of just living paycheck to paycheck, you keep doing it, you're not gonna get out of it, okay? So that living to paycheck, yes, you can do what we've talked about already, shifting your mindset, looking to make some extra money, living on a budget and cutting out expenses you don't need. All of that are really big key pieces. But the emergency fund is that first step to really say, hey, here's where you can put all the intentionality and actually have a safety net so that when something does come up, you're not going deeper into debt for those emergencies. You actually have the money there. So you can save for that starter $1,000 emergency fund. Once you're out of debt, you can save up your 3 to 6 months worth of expenses emergency fund. You can even think about the future and think, okay, how am I gonna save for retirement once I get there? Like, all of these things are so, so key, but savings has to be part of this mindset shift so that you don't stay broke. Number 5, you're still using credit cards. Ugh. So we have a thing we say around Ramsey. We're like, you can't be Ramsey-ish, right? It's like, well, I'm kind of doing it, but I'm kind of doing my own thing. I'm kind of over here. Listen, the fastest way to get to point A to point B, we have figured out. That's why we teach the Ramsey baby steps. So we say, don't use debt, and to be able to really get in control of your money. Because when you are using credit cards, especially, studies show you end up spending more. The average family has around $16,000 in credit card debt, okay? So think about the interest on top of that. And you end up, it's kind of like this enabler that you spend money that you don't have, and you can justify it and you don't really even feel it emotionally, but it's not setting you up to win long term. So getting on a plan, covering your bases with your budget so that you have money for your bills, and that a credit card is not gonna be your safety net, okay? So getting rid of your credit card, so, so important to this process. Number 6, you haven't learned delayed gratification. And this is when it comes to buying and shopping. I understand it feels good, right? If you're stressed because of life, yeah, it feels good to buy something because, I don't know, the dopamine hits and the adrenaline goes and it's like, that was fun, that was enjoyable. I totally get it, okay? But when you live in that, you're going to stay broke. You have to be able to have the mindset to say, I'm gonna say no to stuff that I want. And I tell people to add to your cart. Just add to your cart. Do a little shopping, add it to your cart, and then don't buy it. Don't buy it. Just get rid of it. Because usually it's stuff that you just want in the moment that you don't really want long term. But if there is stuff that you think, no, I really do want this, write it down and wait 1 month. Look up in a month and see, okay, do I still really want X, Y, and Z? Do I still need X, Y, and Z? And it's amazing what happens when you actually delay gratification. All right, last but not least, number 7, you haven't set financial goals. This is a big part of winning with money. Zig Ziglar always says, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. You gotta aim at something. You gotta have a goal for your money. Again, whether it's, hey, I'm gonna just save $100 this month, or maybe it's, I'm gonna try to get my emergency fund in 30 days or less. Like, I don't care what it is, but you have a goal. We wanna pay off debt. I wanna have X amount at retirement. Have goals that you are shooting for. So here's some ways to set goals. Write them down. It's amazing. Writing it down and just having a sheet of paper in your car or at your desk at work or on your bathroom mirror of what those goals are so, so key. Make them specific. Know exactly what you are shooting for. So the idea of saying, I just want to be better with money, it's not going to work. But if you say, I'm going to pay off $10,000 of my debt this year, then that is exact. It's not vague. You know exactly what it is, and you want to be measurable. So if you want to say, okay, I want to pay $10,000 toward my debt next year, that means I'm going to have $835 extra dollars every month just to put towards my debt, or $210 a week. Breaking it down into these bite-sized chunks is going to help you see these mini goals throughout the process and how you can actually hit your goal. And also give yourself a deadline. Don't just say, someday I would love for this to happen. Actually have a finish line that you are working towards. And when you are setting goals, make them for you. Make it a goal that you want. So the idea that your sister and brother-in-law are getting out of debt, it sounds kind of cool. It's like, okay. But if you don't want that for you, you're not going to do it. Like, you have to find the why in you to be able to say, these are the goals that I want to hit. So if you're ready to do this, you guys, it is possible. It's possible to change the way you view and you handle your money. If you do not like the result of where you are today financially, you have to change. Change what you've been doing, change the way you've been thinking about money. And ultimately, that will help you take control of your money and create a life you love.